Good Monday morning, everybody. Not only is it Monday, and I love me a Monday, but it's also Monday of a holiday week. So even of those of you who don't like Mondays, even though I'm working on you to not live your life counting away every day that you have to go to work, right? But even if you're still a little bit in that space, for you it's kind of like Wednesday, right? Because it's a short week. It is a short week, and I love a holiday. So we're going to have Thanksgiving this week. I'm excited. It's the one day a year I cook, so it's kind of a huge deal. Now, we moved into this new house, y'all probably know, and it's got one of these fancy induction cooktops. I'd never even heard of such a thing. Hey, Frankie. And it's got only can use special kind of pans. Who knew, right? So I started having a panic attack yesterday because I don't cook often, but I realized, how am I going to cook Thanksgiving? I don't have the pans, I don't have the pots, because that's the one day of the year that I need like at least 2 pots this big, because I got all these potatoes going, I got the macaroni going for the casserole. It's pretty crazy. So Amazon to the rescue. It'll all be here by tomorrow. So I got my pots and pans coming, so we're gonna have some Thanksgiving fun. Looking forward to that. Hope you've got something wonderful planned. If you don't, get out there and serve at a soup kitchen. Do something to make yourself feel good. And when you see what you really have to be thankful for, I guarantee you that's the way I look at it. So I wanted to share some incredible positivity with you. And before I even do that, I want to give a huge shout out. Another reason this is a wonderful Monday is our AC Media team, video producer, photographer extraordinaire, Jeremiah Derringer, and his beautiful wife, Amanda, just had their baby about 30-40 minutes ago. Baby Evan. And he looks just perfect and beautiful, 7 pounds, mom and baby doing well, everyone's healthy, so that's wonderful news, and we're so happy for them. So, did anybody watch 60 Minutes last night? Let me know if you watched 60 Minutes. I don't always catch it, but it was in my DVR recording, so I went ahead and watched. And boy, there was a segment on there that was so amazingly positive. I highly recommend you Google it and watch it. I'm sure it's online. You just watch it. It was with a gentleman named Tim Green, football player. Looks like he played with a few teams. I wasn't catching all the detail on which ones he played for. But this guy is unbelievably positive. He has ALS. I didn't catch how old he is, but I'm betting he's about my age. So he's in his 50s. And I mean, it has really ravaged him. They showed an interview with him 18 months ago, and he was talking just about like I am now, maybe a little bit slower, but then again, who doesn't talk slower than me? And 18 months fast forward to last night's interview, and you can barely understand him. He's very hard to hear, hard to understand. I mean, this guy's suffering. ALS is not a joking matter. That is one horrible, tragic disease. And he was talking about how he believes that football, he and a lot of others believe that football played a part. Now, I've heard the CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, being related to football and all the concussions, but I'd never heard that there might be a link with ALS. But either way, that's not really my point. Whatever caused it, his attitude was just breathtakingly refreshing. They asked him, do you have any regrets? Thinking, you played football, you think this is what did it to you? And he just sat there, he said, no regrets. He said, I wouldn't. And he said, at the time, he literally said, the men playing football and getting that rush of having people watch them, cheer for them, follow them, he goes, if you told them up front and said, if you said up front, I'm going to take 10 or 20 years off of your life for playing football, he goes, they would take that trade all day long. He goes, that's just the truth. So they asked him, do you have any regrets? And he said, no. He said, those were wonderful years. It was what I wanted to do. It was my dream. I lived my dream. How can I look back with regret for that now? So there's that. Then the other question he asked was even better. And he asked him, he said, then he's talking about football because obviously that was such a great thing for him. He goes, so that was the best time of your life. And he goes, and hopefully I won't get choked up. I probably will. See, if I say I get choked up, I'm going to get choked up. Anyway, he goes, through his slurred words, he goes, no, this is the best time of my life. And the guy was like, this now is the best time? And through his few words he could say, he goes, I have everything. I was like, oh, I love Tim Green. I have everything. What a beautiful spirit this man has. It was so touching. So here's this football player, ALS, can barely speak, talking about the glory days, how he would never trade having played football. And they ask him, so those were the best years of your life, right? And he goes, no. Now is because I have everything. And he looked at his family, and he looked back on his life, and it was just so beautiful. And I turned to Wes and said, I love Tim Green. He's my new favorite person. I mean, this man's attitude was so beautiful. And the difference, I mean, he's fighting this disease, but the difference he's made in life, oh my goodness. Oh, what a legacy. So, okay, I'll get off the Tim Green thing or I'll cry the rest of the morning. So, wonderful, wonderful story. Highly recommend you take out 15 minutes if you want to be motivated. Watch that. Fine man. So, number 2, people that are getting things done by showing the power of change, right? You got to be able to think outside the box. How's that for a cliche?
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. I have the order.
Large unsweet tea, please.
Anything else?
Nope.
That'll be on for you?
Yeah.
All right, well, wait.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm listening to Gary Vee this morning, and I'm introduced to a new charity that I'd never heard of. I'm curious if some of you possibly have, called Charity Water. It's been around over a decade, so I'm a little behind the loop here. What's new? So Charity Water. It was brilliant, because what do you think is the greatest hang-up with people donating to charity? The greatest hang-up, most people would probably say, is they're afraid how much of the money goes directly to the charity versus how much goes in people's pockets, right? So this guy came up with a brilliant solution. Thank you. I'm not saying it's the solution for everything, but I just love people that are able to think of something new. You know, take on the problem that people are having with something and don't try to convince them otherwise. That's a lot of energy. Try to solve the problem in a more creative way. So here's what he did. Nobody wants, it's kind of like a church even, right? Nobody wants to be the one paying the light bill. Everybody wants to be the one, giving to save souls. And I mean, that's just a human tendency. But the light bill has to get paid. Same with him. As he said with Charity Water, it's a charity that builds wells in these underdeveloped countries. First of all, before I tell you his brilliant idea, do you know that 1 out of 6 people on our planet don't have clean water? I mean, dirty, unflowing, stagnant water. And they say in those countries, 52% of the disease in those countries could simply be eradicated with clean water. So one of the most basic, good, thank you. One of the most basic fundamentals. We're not talking about luxury items here, guys. We're talking about the ability to sustain life. 1 out of 6. And he said roughly a third of those are in Africa, a third are in India, and a third are in Southeast Asia. He said a few in South and Central America, but vast majorities were the places I just stated. So anyway, that's what they do. They build wells. They have tracking of wells, monitoring. You can see the water that's coming out. They're the most incredibly transparent company ever. But here's his genius idea. He said no one wants their giving to go to anything other than the cause. So how am I going to build a 100% model? Which he said, again, by the way, he doesn't necessarily recommend because it's very difficult. Here's how he did it. He went to people like Gary Vaynerchuk. He got Gary Vee and his wife Lizzie on board. He got, I don't know the details of who all, but he was saying things like Facebook, Amazon. I mean, it's leaders and givers on that scale that he got. I think he said 131 people to fund the entire thing. So these people fund everything operational. He goes, we've got to have a copier. We have to have insurance. There's a lot of things we have to have. So these guys get it, and they paid for that. So every penny that you give goes directly to building wells for fresh water for these countries. Isn't that brilliant? He just found a different way. Instead of going at the situation with the usual preaching of, no, you don't understand why it's a good thing. It's really a great thing to build a big organization because you need it so we can do more and give more. That may be 100% true, but if the people aren't buying the message, sell them a message that they will buy. Change the message. So he said, we've got to sell them what they want, which is all their money goes to charity. But how do you afford to do that? Well, you get creative, right? Those of you who've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's book, he used to say that his rich dad, who wasn't his biological dad but a mentor, would always tell him, don't say, I can't afford it. Say, how can I afford it? See what a minor shift that is? It's that whole negative thing of, I could never afford this versus, how could I afford this? So whether that's a trip you want to take or something you would like to have in your own life, or whether it's just, or whether you want to be giving back to charity, flip the paradigm, flip the algorithm, think a little harder, go back to the drawing board. Sometimes I just have to go get away where it's really quiet and mull over an idea and scratch it out on paper. I've been doing that in my business recently, and I did come up with something for expanding our team Absolute Charm that I think, for me, the way we put it together was pretty revolutionary, and everybody I've talked to about it so far said it's pretty revolutionary. The value proposition is so great for people that want to expand that brand with us as expansion leaders around the country, and it's just exciting to see it come together. But the main thing driving my thought process was, if we're going to expand, we can't do it long term and on scale by telling people, no, this is what's good for you, this is what you want. We have to listen to what they want and give it to them. And then the trick is, well, how can we do that? Because what they want is to keep the maximum amount of their commissions. Everybody needs to make the most money they can to pay their family, to feed their family. So then I'm thinking, how can we go into other cities, towns, states, provinces, the world, and give them that and provide everything they need? And that's why you guys know I'm so excited that EXP finally is a platform. It's one thing I found that allowed me to do what Charity Water basically did, which is give people what they want by finding a different way. And it's an incredible cause. I'm going to check it out. They're having people donate for birthdays. I think they're making it really easy to give for fresh water, so I'm going to do a little more digging. This was literally while I was getting ready this morning, and I already wanted to talk to you about Tim Green. So if you missed the first part, go back and watch it, because Tim Green, his interview on 60 Minutes last night was just, if that won't shift your thoughts and your minds and the meaning of being thankful, here we are at Thanksgiving weekend, nothing will. Incredibly inspiring. So love to hear from you guys. As always, let me know if you've ever heard of Charity Water. Let me know if you saw the 60 Minutes interview, or if you go check it out later, let me know what you thought, because I think it's going to change your week, if not your life. Watch it every week. It'll probably change your life. So enjoy your wonderful Monday on the countdown to Thanksgiving. Y'all know I always do a lot of a big cooking on that one day. It's the only day of the year I cook. And I do have all my recipes written up. So if there are any of you out here who don't know how to make a big Southern Thanksgiving meal from scratch, and you're not a big cook, which I'm not, but I can make a mean Thanksgiving meal, let me know. I'm considering putting all the recipes up on my website. Did you know I had a website? Let me know if you've ever checked it out. My website is tammypack.com. It's really confusing, so get a pen out. I know you need to write that down. It's tricky. tammypack.com. So let me know if you want to see some recipes on there, and we'll get it on. Just want to know whatever it is you guys want to see from me, and that's what we'll bring on. Y'all have a wonderful one. Love you so much. Thanks for all the support. We'll see you tomorrow.